Seniors, weak legs? Must eat these 3 key foods to strengthen them. Part 1. The day I saw my patient collapse, a doctor's story about aging legs and how to strengthen them naturally. It was a crisp fall morning when Mrs. Eleanor Jensen, 74 years old, shuffled into my clinic. Her steps were short and unsure, each one a battle between balance and gravity. She sat down with a sigh that carried decades of wear and tear. I could see the fear in her eyes even before she spoke. "Doctor," she said quietly, "I used to walk 3 miles every morning. Now I'm afraid to make it to the bathroom without holding on to something." Her words weren't unique, but they never got easier to hear. As a physician who's spent over 30 years studying the effects of aging on the body, I've seen it time and time again. What begins as little weakness in the legs becomes a full-blown battle against sarcopenia, the age-related loss of muscle mass and function. And the consequences? They're serious. Falls, fractures, loss of independence, depression. But here's what too few people realize: it doesn't have to be this way. Yes, aging changes the body, but it doesn't have to strip away your strength. In fact, with the right foods and some smart lifestyle choices, many seniors regain not only their leg strength, but their confidence, their balance, even their joy. Today, I'm going to walk you through the top 3 key foods every senior must eat if they want to fight leg weakness and stay strong. But more than that, I'll share stories from real patients, science-backed explanations, and some surprises even I didn't expect after decades of research. Let's start by understanding why your legs might be getting weaker, and why it's not just about aging. Part 2. What's really happening to your legs? The hidden epidemic of muscle loss after 60. I've had countless conversations over the years with older patients who told me something like this. "I don't know what happened, Doc. One day I was walking up the stairs, and the next, my legs felt like jelly." Many assume it's just getting old. But there's something deeper going on here: sarcopenia. A term few people outside the medical world know, yet millions live with silently every day. So, what is sarcopenia? Sarcopenia is the progressive loss of muscle mass, strength, and function as we age. It doesn't happen overnight, and it isn't just about looking thinner. It's a slow breakdown of the body's most important tool for staying upright, moving freely, and living independently: your muscles, especially those in the legs. Let me tell you about Mr. Harold Bell. He was 68 when he first came to see me, still working part-time at the hardware store. Active, cheerful, but lately, he'd started stumbling more often. "I think I'm just clumsy," he laughed. But when we ran a DEXA scan and checked his strength, the truth emerged. He had lost nearly 15% of his leg muscle mass in the past 5 years. And that was without any major illness. Why? Because once you hit your 50s and 60s, your body naturally begins breaking down more muscle than it builds, unless you intervene. The vicious cycle of weak legs. Here's the thing. Once your legs begin to weaken, everything else follows. You stop walking as much. You avoid stairs. Your balance shifts. And then, you fall once. You get afraid to fall again. You stop going out as much. You lose more muscle. It's a downward spiral I've seen far too often. But, and here's the crucial truth, muscle loss is not inevitable. We can slow it, stop it, even reverse it. I've helped patients in their 70s, even 80s, build back strength they thought was gone forever. And it starts, not with supplements or surgery, but with the right foods. In the next section, we'll begin diving into these 3 key foods that have helped my patients regain mobility and power in their legs. These aren't miracle cures, and this isn't hype. It's biology, backed by science and seen in real lives. Stay with me. The first food might already be in your fridge. Part 3. The first power food that strengthens weak legs: a creamy, tangy secret from the Mediterranean. Let's rewind to a patient I'll never forget: Marjorie, 73, retired schoolteacher, walker, knitter, and grandmother of 7. She had one goal when she came to see me. "Doctor, I want to be able to dance at my granddaughter's wedding." But her legs had other plans. She had lost so much strength that even walking across her kitchen felt like a marathon. She was discouraged but determined. We worked out a plan: moderate resistance exercises, light walking, and one very important addition to her breakfast routine: Greek yogurt. Why Greek yogurt? Greek yogurt isn't just a trendy snack, It's one of the best functional foods for aging muscles. Unlike regular yogurt, it's strained, which makes it thicker, richer in protein, and easier on the stomach for many seniors. Here's what makes it a powerhouse. Whey and casein protein. Greek yogurt contains both fast-digesting whey and slow-digesting casein protein. This combination means your muscles get a steady stream of amino acids throughout the day, essential for repairing and rebuilding tissue. Especially in the legs. Calcium. It's crucial for bone health. And strong bones support strong muscles. We often talk about muscle loss, but we forget that bones and muscles are partners. One fails, the other soon follows. Probiotics. A healthy gut equals better nutrient absorption. In seniors, digestion slows down and becomes less efficient. But the probiotics in Greek yogurt enhance gut function, making it easier for the body to use all those nutrients you're eating. Marjorie's transformation. I had her start eating 1 bowl of Greek yogurt every morning, often with some blueberries and crushed walnuts. She also added a bit of honey for flavor, not too much sugar, but just enough to enjoy it. 6 weeks later, she was back in my office, not hobbling, but walking. 3 months later, she emailed me a photo of her on the dance floor, smiling ear to ear, holding her granddaughter's hand. That's the power of food, real food, not pills or powders. Why seniors must prioritize protein. Let me take a quick step back and emphasize something crucial. As you age, your protein needs go up, not down. Most people assume seniors don't need much protein because they're less active. But in reality, after age 60, the body becomes less efficient at using protein to build muscle. So, you actually need more protein to maintain the same amount of muscle mass. Greek yogurt provides an easy, delicious, and digestible source of protein, without the heaviness of meat or the side effects of protein shakes. Doctor's tip. How to eat it. Here's how I tell my patients to enjoy Greek yogurt. Best time. Morning or after exercise, even a walk counts. Serving size. At least 3/4 to 1 cup daily. Boosted with berries, antioxidants, nuts, healthy fats, cinnamon, anti-inflammatory, flax seeds, omega-3s and fiber. Keep it simple. Keep it regular. The key is consistency, not complexity. In the next part, we'll explore a food that comes from the sea, rich in healthy fats, powerful in protein, and proven to reduce inflammation in aging legs. Let's talk about salmon. Part 4. The second power food, from the ocean to your muscles. If I had $1 for every time I recommended salmon to an aging patient, I might have retired by now. But I wouldn't trade those conversations for anything, because salmon has been a game changer for so many of my patients struggling with weak legs. Take Thomas, 74, a retired firefighter with calves like tree trunks, until they weren't. After a few years of inactivity and chronic knee pain, he came to me worried. "Doc, my legs just don't have the fire anymore. They're tired all the time." I looked at his diet. Lots of carbs, very little protein, and virtually no healthy fats. That's where salmon came in. Why salmon? This fish is more than just a dinner option, it's a therapeutic food for seniors. Packed with nutrients that directly target muscle weakness, inflammation, and bone loss, salmon checks every box for leg health. Here's why it works. Omega-3 fatty acids, EPA and DHA. These aren't just good fats, they're essential for aging bodies. Omega-3s help reduce muscle inflammation, improve blood flow, and even stimulate muscle protein synthesis, especially when combined with resistance exercise. High-quality protein. Every 3-ounce serving of salmon contains about 22 grams of complete protein, ideal for muscle repair and preservation. Vitamin D. We talk about calcium for bones, but without vitamin D your body can't absorb it effectively. Salmon is one of the few natural sources of vitamin D which supports bone density and helps prevent falls. Astaxanthin. This powerful antioxidant gives salmon its pink hue, and it's also a potent anti-inflammatory that protects muscles from oxidative stress. Thomas's comeback. We added salmon to Thomas's dinners 3 times a week, grilled, baked, even in salmon patties. He started doing basic chair squats and short walks. 6 weeks in, his wife said something I'll never forget. "I don't know what you gave him, but he's back to chasing the grandkids around the yard." There's nothing magical about salmon, just nutritional precision. His muscles were inflamed, undernourished, and underused. Salmon helped change that. But what if I don't like salmon? Not everyone enjoys fish, and that's okay. There are alternatives that still provide similar benefits. Sardines. Also rich in omega-3s and calcium, plus you eat the bones. Mackerel. High in omega-3s and less expensive. Trout. Milder flavor, still packed with nutrients. Omega-3 supplements. For those who absolutely can't tolerate seafood. But for those who can enjoy it, fresh or wild-caught salmon is one of the most efficient, delicious ways to rebuild aging muscles. Doctor's tip. How to eat it. Best method. Baked, grilled, or broiled. Avoid deep frying. Serving. At least 2 to 3 times a week. 3 to 5 ounces per meal. Great pairings. Spinach, for iron and nitrates. Quinoa or sweet potatoes, clean carbs for energy. Lemon and olive oil, for flavor and extra healthy fat. Simple, tasty, and transformational. In the next part, I'll introduce a food that grows on trees but feeds your muscles like a multivitamin. It's a crunchy, satisfying powerhouse packed with protein, magnesium, and omega-3s, you guessed it. We're talking about walnuts. Part 5. The third power food, a tiny nut with giant benefits. Now, if you've made it this far, you're probably starting to see a pattern. What does it take to keep your legs strong as you age? The right foods, rich in protein, healthy fats, and nutrients that work in harmony with your body. And here's where one of nature's simplest and most powerful foods comes in: walnuts. Let me tell you about Eleanor, 79 years old, a retired nurse who was an avid gardener. Her legs had begun to fail her, she could barely bend down to pull weeds, let alone carry a basket of vegetables. After trying different exercises and not seeing much improvement, she asked me, "Doc, what more can I do to get my legs back?" That's when I recommended walnuts. Why walnuts? I know what you're thinking. How can a small nut really make a difference? But walnuts are, in fact, packed with the kinds of nutrients that aging legs crave. Here's why they work. Omega-3 fatty acids, ALA. Walnuts are one of the few plant-based sources of omega-3 fatty acids, which play a critical role in reducing muscle inflammation. Since inflammation is a huge contributor to muscle weakness, walnuts can help calm down the damage done by the aging process. Magnesium, a critical mineral for muscle function. Magnesium helps regulate muscle contraction and relaxation, preventing cramps and spasms. Walnuts provide a good dose of magnesium, which can improve muscle function in your legs, preventing the pain and stiffness that often accompany inactivity. Protein. While walnuts aren't as high in protein as Greek yogurt or salmon, they still offer a decent amount, especially when you compare them to other nuts. They provide 5 grams of protein per ounce, which adds up when you incorporate them regularly into your diet. Antioxidants. Walnuts are loaded with antioxidants, which protect the muscles and other tissues from oxidative stress. This helps your legs recover after exercise and reduces the wear and tear that naturally comes with aging. Eleanor's walnut story. I had Eleanor start eating a small handful of walnuts every morning. She loved the idea of something crunchy in her oatmeal, and I suggested she sprinkle them on top with some chia seeds and a drizzle of honey. After 2 weeks, she came back to me and said, "Doc, I'm not saying I'm running marathons yet, but I'm able to bend down without feeling like my legs are going to give out. I can carry my baskets of tomatoes again." It wasn't a miracle, it was just good, targeted nutrition working with her body's natural recovery processes. How to incorporate walnuts into your diet. Now, how do you get the most out of walnuts? Here's a little secret. It's not about eating them in large amounts, but about making them a regular part of your diet. Here's how I recommend my patients eat them. Snack on a handful of walnuts, about 1 ounce, between meals. Add them to your morning oatmeal or yogurt for a satisfying crunch. Sprinkle them over salads or roasted vegetables for extra texture. Mix them into smoothies or baking for an extra boost of nutrients. But what about the calories? I know some people worry about calories when it comes to nuts. But here's the reality: walnuts, like other nuts, are high in healthy fats, but those fats are heart-healthy, anti-inflammatory, and good for your muscles. The key is moderation. About 1 ounce, roughly 14 halves, per day is the sweet spot. This small amount packs a punch without tipping the scale. A nutritious habit. Eating walnuts doesn't just help your legs, they provide a full-spectrum nutritional boost. With their omega-3s, protein, magnesium, and antioxidants, walnuts have the ability to support brain health, heart health, and joint health as well. In the next section, we're going to explore something that might surprise you: the power of consistency. It's not just about eating these 3 foods now and then, it's about making them part of your everyday routine for lasting results. Part 6. The power of consistency: how small habits lead to big results. If there's one thing I've learned over my decades as a physician, it's that consistency is the key to seeing real change, especially when it comes to maintaining leg strength and mobility as we age. Let me tell you about Barbara, 82, a retired teacher who came to me a year ago struggling with weakness in her legs. She had noticed that even walking around the house became a chore, and she was constantly worried about tripping or falling. But the truth was, she didn't have a single major health issue, she was just not using her muscles enough. I gave her the same advice I give to so many of my patients. It's not just about what you eat, but about making small, healthy choices every day that add up over time. Barbara was skeptical at first, but I promised her, give it time, stick with it, and your legs will thank you. The magic of daily habits. Nutrition plays a critical role in maintaining leg strength. But no matter how powerful the foods you're eating are, without physical activity, those nutrients won't do their job as effectively. You see, muscles don't just grow stronger by eating the right foods, they grow stronger when you use them. That's why I emphasize 2 things to my patients when they ask how to stay mobile as they age. Daily consistency. Small efforts each day make a difference. Balanced diet plus physical activity. One without the other won't work as well. Why does consistency matter? As we age, our muscles shrink and weaken over time, a process called sarcopenia. But the good news is that this process isn't inevitable. It's modifiable. When we start eating nutrient-rich foods like walnuts, salmon, and spinach, and pair those with consistent physical activity, we begin to reverse some of that muscle loss. Let me tell you, it's not a quick fix. But over time, you'll start to feel the difference. And it doesn't have to be dramatic. Just something as simple as getting up to walk for 10 minutes every day. Or doing leg strengthening exercises a few times a week. The importance of movement. There's a saying I love: use it or lose it. If you don't use your muscles regularly, they'll become weaker. And that's when falls and mobility problems can arise. So, while eating the right foods like salmon, walnuts, and spinach will give your legs the fuel they need to stay strong. Consistent movement is the key that unlocks the benefits of that fuel. It doesn't have to be intense. In fact, sometimes gentle stretching and strength exercises are all you need. Barbara's transformation. Barbara started slow, with short walks around the house and gentle leg raises. Every day, she would eat her walnuts, have her salmon, and drink a glass of water with lemon, which I highly recommend for hydration. Slowly but surely, she started seeing results. After 3 months, she came into my office, grinning ear to ear. "Doc, you wouldn't believe it. I can do 15-minute walks around the neighborhood now. I even started going up the stairs without holding onto the railing." Her muscles were stronger, her balance was better, and she was more confident than she'd been in years. It wasn't a magic pill, it was a combination of nutrition and small, consistent efforts. The key takeaways. Here's the thing. All the foods I've mentioned, salmon, walnuts, spinach, and more, are critical for muscle and bone health. But they aren't quick fixes. If you want to see long-term benefits, you need to incorporate them into your daily routine. Consistency is the true magic behind these foods. They don't work miracles overnight, but over weeks and months, they'll begin to support your muscle strength, bone density, and overall health. So, what should you do? Eat these key foods daily. Start with small portions of walnuts, salmon, and spinach. Move your body daily, even if it's just a walk or some gentle stretches. Make a habit of it. Don't expect quick results, but know that consistent action will lead to lasting benefits. Conclusion. Your legs can stay strong. As we age, we can't avoid the natural changes that come with getting older. But we don't have to settle for weakness. The right foods and consistent activity can help you maintain strong legs, better balance, and independence well into your later years. Barbara, Thomas, Eleanor, they're proof that nutrition, paired with regular exercise, can transform your legs and improve your quality of life. It's about creating habits, being patient, and remembering that small changes can lead to big results. So, don't wait. Start today. Your legs will thank you. Thank you for watching. Stay strong, stay active, and make sure to hit the subscribe button for more tips on healthy aging. If you found this video helpful, please share it with others who might benefit from it. Remember, aging isn't about slowing down, it's about finding ways to stay strong. No matter your age,